What a fantastic day. I mean, you know, if anybody ever, you know, was worried that people wouldn't turn out or didn't believe in the NHS, I think today demonstrates what people think about the NHS. To give up a Sunday, and for some of us to come down here or get up at 7:30 in the morning, or even earlier, because if you're coming from Bristol, I think it was about 6 o'clock, 5:30 you come down this morning. Right across this country, people coming down to Manchester to say that they love the NHS and they're going to stand up and they're going to fight for the NHS. And it doesn't matter what these Tories do, there will always be people here to fight for the NHS. And we've got to applaud everybody that turned out today. It was an absolutely superb turnout. I mean, last week we heard some speak about, you know, people's issues, and it was good to hear some of those issues being raised by the Labour Party. It was even good to hear Ed Miliband touching on some of the issues that impact on working people on a day-to-day life. And of course, this week we got the response from the Tory Party: more workfare. More workfare, that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to get the country out of the mess. We're going to introduce more workfare. What we're going to do is we're going to expose, you know, young people to workfare. That's going to be the first opportunity of work. You think about that. Opportunity for our children will be, you will go and work for nothing. What an appalling situation we find ourselves in the 6th richest country in the world. The job ethic will be, you go to work, and when you get there, we ain't going to pay you. And of course, that will teach you how important work is to you. I mean, it's just appalling, like workfare. And let me tell you something, because I'm proud of my trade union, and I want to touch on the Hovis thing in a minute, because I'm proud of my trade union, because we have a clear position on workfare, and that is this. And I hope somebody from the TUC can go back and tell you the TUC and all the other trade union people involved in the trade union movement across the country. They bring workfare into a workplace where we organise and we will go on strike. Because we're not having workfare. And I'll tell you this, wherever they bring it, we should go out there and make sure we identify that company and let the public know that they're exploiting workers. We ain't going to stand for it. Never going to stand for it. And we shouldn't stand for it. We should never accept that workers are second class, or that our children are there to be used for their purpose and not paid. Not a work ethic that we should ever allow to happen. Never allow to happen. And that's why our people at Wigan are so inspirational. Because if you're looking for inspiration, look at what those people at Wigan did. They could have said, well, we ain't going to do anything. They could have said, oh, well, it doesn't impact on me, but they didn't. They didn't. They cut their hours. They cut their hours to save jobs. The company then announced redundancies. They made those people redundant. Within 48 hours, they brought in 0-hour contracts and agency workers. They could have said, well, we're not going to do anything about it because it doesn't impact on me. But they didn't. They stood up and they said, no second-class worker in Wigan. And I'll tell you what, as the president of Local Food Line, nothing makes me more proud than those people. And when you talk about history, those people are history makers, because I'll tell you this, they won. They won. Not just on 0-hour contracts, but on agencies too, because that's what happens when you take this government on, or companies on. They lose. You stand together, you win together. And that's the thing that we must take from Hovis. A catalyst. Stand up, fight back. And I'll tell you something else I'm proud of as a Bakers Union president. I'll tell you something else I'm really proud of. We ran. We didn't wait for our executive to make a decision. We spoke to our members across the country and we asked them this question. If the government won't listen, if the government wants to privatise our NHS, if the government wants to exploit our children, do you think we should have a general strike? And our members said, yes we should. Let's get it to you.